Okay, so that's one. See, this is three. It's the last one here. Okay, it's gonna be all right. So, can you imagine playing a video game with 20 levels and never getting past level 5? Most people play life like that. So if you choose to subscribe to wanting to become a lifelong learner, be also ready to lose a part of that happiness and freedom that you once had when you didn't know it. I have visualized my dad's funeral 50,000 times. I got it. It's a great game. Phenomenal.
If you know every show on Netflix and you're broke, you have a problem. You're lazy. It's not about me against you. It's about PBD against PBD's capacity. And I'm chasing this. I'm Patrick Bay David. I went from living at a refugee camp, living in Iran for 10 years with the whole war, coming to U.S., to now running an insurance company with nearly 12,000 agents in 49 states, 500,000 square feet of office space. And I run a YouTube channel called Valuetainment, 1.5 million subs, because I'm one of the passionate few. You ever seen somebody go from a very dark place? I mean, a very, very dark place. They're addicts, drug, alcohol, alcoholic, DUI after DUI after DUI and DWI and not good friends, not in a good place. Boom! 3, 6, 12 months later, 24 months later, 3, 5 years later, they're in an incredible place, fully changed, whole different human being. You don't even recognize them. You watch them, you see their eyes, you see the way they walk, talk. Everything they do is so impressive. What caused this? By the way, let me give you the flip side. You ever seen somebody that's doing great? They're doing great things, contributing, good family life. They're in a good place, good surrounding, making the right decision. 3, 6, 12 months later, you don't recognize them. They're in a dark place. What happened to them? Why are they not growing the way they were growing before? This person, same body, same spirit, everything's the same. How is it so different of an attitude and the results they're getting? What causes somebody to make drastic change? You ready? Very simple for me. Words, language. Everything in life is about language. Everything. There's a word I don't use. I don't use the phrase, I was saying this on the conference, I don't use the phrase, you see the T word? It's one of the most dangerous words in the world. I don't use the T word. I don't like to use the T word. And I don't like people using the T word around me. Surround yourself with 5 people around you and let them keep telling me how T they are. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, I'm tired at 3 o'clock. I need a nap. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, you're driving me nuts. You're driving me nuts with this T word. You say it, you're right. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say the T word. There's certain words I refuse to accept. I'm Armenian, I'm Assyrian. What the Turkish Empire did to Armenians, 1.5 million people. And there are words that I see my community use where they say victims. I can't listen to that word because I don't see myself as a victim. I don't. It's too powerful of a word. I don't see myself as that. So I'm not going to say, well, we're victims. I'm sorry, I'm not a victim. I don't buy that. So why am I saying this to you? Look, I've seen people change from good to bad. I've seen people change from good to bad to dark places where I don't even recognize them. The change from good to bad and the change from bad to good is both caused by words. Be very careful what words you use. You choose whatever words I'm just telling you some of mine. The T word happens to be one of them. I don't like to use it. I'm tired. Nope, not gonna use it. For you, when you're done watching this video, make a list of certain words that you use that don't serve you well. What are those words? Your kids are listening to you. Your siblings are listening to you. Your peers are listening to you. The people who work with you are listening to you. Are those effective words? No? Stop using them. Add them to a list and moving forward, I don't want to use these words. You use them once, be aware. I'm not going to use it again. Then, what words do you want to add to your repertoire? Start using those words. And people around you, when they freely throw words around, stop them. Stop them. Don't let them use it around you because a form of you not saying anything means you're accepting those words. You don't have to accept those words. You can say, Bobby, I don't agree with that mindset. You can believe it. Totally fine. It's America. You have the right to believe that. I'm not buying that. So it's going to stop right here. You can buy that. I refuse to buy that. And then eventually, people around you are going to be like, what is wrong with you? You sound a little weird. No. I'm just being protective of my spirit. Because however I feel, my family's going to feel. And I don't want them to have that kind of spirit in my household. You get to decide that. So my challenge to you, make a list of the words. And those that don't produce results, replace them with some good ones. And then go keep talking about it over and over and over again and watch yourself go from wherever you are right now to incredible places. You got to question everything. You got to question, if you grew up a Republican, are you a Republican, and why? If you grew up in a family where everybody was a military, general, army, whatever, and because of that you're a Republican, why are you? If you're a Democrat, why are you a Democrat? Because what? Because you're Latino? Because you're black? Because you're Middle Eastern? You're a Republican because, are you a Christian for what? Are you a Christian because you're a Christian? Because your parents are Christians? Are you an atheist because of you or your parents? Are you a Scientologist because of you or your parents? What are your belief system, right? What are you doing? And do you subscribe to the same mindset? Do you subscribe to the same mindset of what rich people are? I grew up in a family where my mother didn't like rich people. So for me, it was kind of like rich people are terrible people. They're greedy. All they care about is money. I can't stand rich people. They're selfish. They put everybody else to work and they live in these big homes and they do nothing and they party and they go to the nice restaurants and buy $1,000 bottle of wine and I'm freaking having a $2 beer here. Screw these rich people, right? I can't stand these rich people. He drinks a Bordeaux and I'm drinking a Budweiser. That cold-hearted rich guy, right? And so to me it was that. So it's coming up, I'm like, these rich people are greedy. Then I started questioning everything. Every single thing. And when I started questioning everything, my philosophies in life became clear. You see, for me, one of the reasons why I like a book by Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, or why I like Ray Dalio's book, Principles, is because here's my principles, here's my values. And a lot of times, we don't take the time to say, what are the values and principles that I'm willing to build my life on? What are they? And what really are they? What are you willing to really stand up for? What is your core belief system? Are you a certain belief because you live in a certain city and you have to be? Are you thinking about money in a way because your parents looked at money that way? Maybe your parents don't like money because they didn't want to work for money. Maybe they're out and, their escape was they had a nephew or a niece or a brother or a sibling or somebody that did better than them. So for them to prove to you that they still did their part, right, is to belittle that person. Listen, our parents are still human beings. We look at parents as they know everything. They're the almighty. Parents make mistakes. Parents don't have everything figured out. They're trying to figure it out for themselves. So I think the solution for you to become free is you got to question every single thing, even the one that is so core to you that you're kind of like, you want me to even question this? Yes, all of it. Here's why. Because here's what happens. The idea isn't to question and change. Like the idea isn't to say, I question it and they're wrong, so I change everything. No, if you question it, your argument and belief system in that value or principle could actually go a layer deeper than you currently are. And if it goes a layer deeper than you currently are, then it becomes a conviction. And you give me anybody that leads an army, give me anybody that leads a country, give me anybody that does anything that impacts the world, their convictions are at a higher level than yours. Everybody has convictions that they live with.
It's incredible. I love that.
As competitive as you are, it's got a limit to it. What do you mean? Let me explain to you what I mean by this. So it's very good when you're coming up and there's competition because someone's making you feel inferior, so you have to step up or you flight, right? You fight, flight, you freeze. Oh my gosh, he's better than me. I'm not gonna do anything. I can't beat this guy, and boom, you just become a regular guy. Or you flight, I'm not gonna do this business, whatever, and secretly you're not doing it because the other guy's better than you. So why am I gonna stay in this space? I'm just gonna leave this space. Yeah. Or you decide to go fight and see how you do. Okay, so if we go fight, if it's just a direct competition that you do, there's a limit. Eventually, you get to a point where you say to yourself, I think I can compete. Like we were about to shut down the channel in the first 2 years. And we said, I don't know if this is gonna be me. I don't know if the audience resonates. Maybe we just don't have it. Then we said, let's change the channel. Let's go from Patrick Bet-David to Colin at Valuetainment. So then we changed the channel to Valuetainment. We took a complete different approach because a lot of people want to brand names. I don't want a brand name. When I die, my name is only worth the legacy. I want to brand a business because I can sell that business, is what I want to do. It's a completely different approach. Some people agree, some people don't. So I said, let's do Valuetainment. Why? We're bringing value, we're entertaining, and this is becoming a movement. So let's see how this resonates. Then we adjusted, then it started growing. Then we could compete, then we started growing. Then it was no longer about the competition. Not because we're beating the competition, because PewDiePie is killing everybody, 69 million subs. So if you're really gonna compete, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. So the guy at the top's got 69 million. What are you gonna do to get to 69 million? Then maturity for me, and this happened at around 33, 34, 35, the main outcome became capacity. That's what it became. And I realized everyone's capacity is different in life. Your capacity may be higher in life, but you became an underachiever even though you have a lot more potential than I do. My capacity may be smaller in life, but I become an overachiever at my smaller capacity and I do better in life. You could even be an achiever and you still do good in life and you beat somebody who, let's just say, is not as talented than you. Like, let's just say yourself, you're an MIT guy, you're all this stuff. People are expecting you to win. So some of the kids you went to school with, if you just competed with those guys, that's like an 18-year-old kid bullying a 14-year-old. You're gonna beat them. It's not fair to compete there, right? So on the outside, we can very easily fool ourselves into thinking we're winning because we're always comparing down versus if I compare to my capacity, I'm striving for something else, you know? So once that chip went towards, Pat, here's what we're really fighting for. If this is really your capacity, and if you constantly look at the marketplace about competition, and eventually, let's just say you beat a few people, then what? That doesn't necessarily mean you reached that level of capacity. I'm striving for this. That adjustment in that mindset, believe it or not, helped me have a better relationship with other people, helped me have a better relationship with competitors, because it's not about me against you. It's about PBD against PBD's capacity, and I'm chasing this. And it gave a lot more peace, joy, comfort, not in a comfortable level, but comfort knowing, you know, we're playing a different game now.
Yeah, some of my greatest guests on this show compete with themselves, including Dorian Yates, you know, and he was the guy that always wanted to be himself. And I think that's why he got to those levels, because it wasn't about that guy or that guy, which also brings weird energy and weird results to the people around you. If you're trying to be the best version of yourself every day, that's how I think you get to greatness.
You mean everything in life is sales? Everything in life is sales. Yes, everything is. So it doesn't matter if it's relationship, parenting, business, wanting a promotion, your girl, your boy, your husband, your wife, your parents, you know, every aspect of life is all selling. And if you show me anybody that's being left behind in a family, in a job, for a promotion, and anything, it's somebody that doesn't know how to sell themselves. If you learn how to sell yourself and you deliver, you're probably gonna have a better life than somebody that doesn't know how to sell themselves and they deliver. But you got to learn how to sell yourself. It gives you an upper advantage, an unfair advantage in the marketplace when you know how to communicate a message and deliver it to people. Think about whatever your favorite car is, whatever your favorite brand is, clothes is, and you've never sold before. If a person wants to go in sales, just make a list of what products you like. Then you want to get into sales, go sell that, or find somebody that you're working with. So one is the product, the other one is finding somebody you work with, because sometimes sales managers, some of them are bad. And if you work for a bad sales manager who doesn't know how to get the best out of you and work you and challenge you and push you, sometimes you're not going to do good. So it's either find products that you fully believe in to sell, or it's find sales leaders that you can work closely with that can bring out the best in you and challenge you. You find those two, it's going to end up working out for you. In my mind, the biggest key to success, almost anybody I see that takes it to a whole different level, the highest levels, the difference between them and other people is their sequencing. And what I mean by sequencing is the following. So you and I may have the same vision of what we want to do in life, okay? You want to get here, I want to get here. This could be anything. We both want to build $1 billion company. Fine. We both want to be building a company that does 100 million a year. We both want to go into football. We both want to go play at the highest level. We both want to go out there and be great sales. Whatever it may be, that's the ultimate, right? If my order of steps I take to go here isn't as efficient as yours because your sequencing is better, you're going to get there faster than I am. And I may never even get there because I'm trying to do move 14 on move 3. And that's the most common thing that you see. One day I woke up, I was in a relationship, and I'm 26 years old, 27 years old, 26, 25 years old, and I'm trying to get my business going. I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a text. Babe, I have to tell you this. As much as I love you, I don't see this relationship going anywhere. One of those texts. Because I think my mom is right. You love your business more than you love me, and I barely see you. I only see you once a week. You're working so hard. First text. Then, message. I pressed the message to listen to it. My mom. There used to be a time they used to love me, and you would call me and tell me you love me. What happened to those? What happened to my little son that used to love his mother?
Call me every day, hug me.
That's the part. So now I got a breakup on the line. I got a guilt trip from my mom. That's still 602 right now. Then I get an email.
You haven't even got out of bed yet.
I haven't even gotten out of bed yet. Then I get an email that's been in the box for a while, and I look at it. It's from my number one client that I was about to expect like a $15,000 commission, and that's a lot of money at that time. And my number one client says he's leaving me for the following reasons. And then at the same time, the next email is my agent saying I resign. My number one agent resigns. This all happens before 6:05, 6:10. So I'm in bed, anxiety is high, panic is high. I have no idea what to do. In that moment, all I thought about is, what are my next 5 moves? What do I need to do next? From that moment on, everything I did with business, I would ask myself, I'm gonna do this next, my next 10, 15 moves. Or what would this guy do? This guy that built an empire, what would he do? What are we gonna do here? What can I do to be better than this guy? What can I do to be more efficient than him? What can I do to speed up the process to get here? But everything came down to your next 5 moves. So you're asking the question, is the first move the most important? Absolutely it is. If you don't know your next move can hurt the chances of you even getting to the 5th move.
Yeah.
So it's always your next move that matters the most. Protect your credibility score. Let me explain to you what that means, your credibility score. You know, we all, when you're buying a house or you're buying a car, whatever you're doing, they're gonna check your FICO score to see how good it is, then they give you a loan. Here's $50,000 loan, $100,000 loan, $1 million loan. Your credibility score is just as important, if not more important than anything else. Here's why. If you say what you're going to do and you actually do what you say you're going to do, your credibility score goes higher. Who does that improve and who does that help? 1, it helps you because you trust you. When you say you're gonna do something, you actually do it. 2nd, who does it help? Your friends, your family, they like you. 3, who does it help? The people that do business with you. When your credibility score goes high because what you say is what you do, more people want to be in business with you. Because it's very important for business, for a business partner, for somebody you're doing business with, to keep their word. If you keep saying what you're going to do and you don't do it, your credibility score is low. Not only do you not like yourself, not only does your friends and family not trust you, nobody wants to do business with you. You've got to increase your credibility score in order to get the right help around you as well. I watched a video a week ago by not Big Pun, Fat Joe. And Fat Joe talks about how, he talks about how the one thing most people don't know how to do is how to be a number 2. He says, listen, my entire life, I've been a great number 2. He says, when I was a kid growing up, my older brother, I was a number 2. So I would open a door. I'd say, here you go. What can I get you? I would go get him a drink, get the food. Everything was, I'm his number 2. He says, then I made all the money, but I learned how to be a number 2. He says, I'm rich. He says, guys, I'm very rich. At this point of the game, I make money whether I get out of bed or not. He says, however, as rich as I am, I'm not as rich as DJ Khaled, who's younger than me. And he says, if Khaled and I go out, I still open a door to him because I'm a great number 2. Somebody like that, Doc Hancock, if you want to make money fast, and I'm talking fast, go find great founders who are killers, who have a reputation, that are going to get the job done. And they say they're going to do, it doesn't matter what space it is, in real estate. I'm less interested in the industry, I'm more interested in the founder. Not only are you going to learn the habits of this founder, and then you say, hey, Myron, what do I need to do to own a piece of your business? Hey, Fresh, what can I do to own a piece of this thing you're building? Then Myron may say, well, look, in the next 2 years, if you do X, Y, Z, I'll give you stock options. I'll do this, I'll do that. Well, then once you do that, when the company goes public or it sells or it gets acquired, something happens, I would say go find a killer founder, run with them for 3, 5 years, maybe 10 years, do whatever you can to be the right-hand person, and you're going to make a lot of money. Chances are you're going to make a lot of money.
That is some sauce great. Right there.
So we have a DNA. That's our fingerprint that we have in the world. But then outside of that, there's experiences. There's trials. There's memories of mom and dad fighting. There's words mom said. There's words dad said. There's words a friend said. There's a breakup, heartbreak, setback, something the teacher said, a injury in sports, you were coming up, you almost made it to the next level, and your knee or your back, or you got knocked out publicly in front of your peers and everybody saw you getting knocked out, or an embarrassing moment publicly that happened that's still with you, you're still carrying it. Your girl left you for somebody else, your husband left you, your boyfriend left you. All of these things we carry, and we're pretty good at acting on the outside that we have everything under control, but we're afraid of facing this, so we avoid a lot of these situations. So for me, that one day, I got a set of these questions, and I said, I'm gonna go and address these questions. I went to Malibu Beach, it's right off Zuma, and Matador is what it's called, and I sat there and went through all these questions, 6 hours, I'm up right on the water. And I tell you, Brian, I was like writing it down, and I would go to this moment, and I'd never done this before, and I started writing it. And I start writing, I'm like, oh my gosh, and just start crying. I'm like, oh, come on, knock it off, you little crybaby. More, deeper, deeper, deeper. Why? How has this affected your life? Maybe this is the reason why you keep dating the same type of girls. Maybe this is the reason why the same types of people don't get along with you. Maybe this is the reason why you don't like these types of people, because this, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at this and, oh my gosh, if you go like this, you're gonna be a monster, kid. We gotta figure this out. And so then there was almost a moment of liberation saying, look, you know, this is okay. This is your product, this is who you are. Now we gotta take some of this stuff and know the trends that's happening, be self-aware to know that the next time this happens, it's not the person's fault. You're looking at this person and you're thinking this person's your ex or your mom or your dad. It's not, it's that situation. This doesn't make it right. It just means something you experienced. Give the person an opportunity. So it helped me go deeper in relationships rather than being, I was a very private guy. I don't let people in. Like most people did. I would date a girl and you had no idea I was with her for 3 years. People had no idea I had a girlfriend. Private. I had girlfriends. People wouldn't know. What's Pat up to? Who does he date? Nobody knew. Like one time I was with a girl in a company, now we would go all the places. Nobody knew her and I were together. Finally, all of a sudden, one person finds out 3 years later. How did that happen? I said, how did you find out? So it was very private to me. And then that made me, with the help of social media, realize we're all naked today. I'm naked, you're naked, everybody's naked. I need 5 minutes on social media to find out your political beliefs. Do you like Trump? Do you like Hillary? Do you like Merkel? Do you like the prime minister of here? Do you like political? Are you gun? Are you anti-gun? Are you, weed, legalized? It's very easy to figure out people nowadays because we're all naked. I can find that if you're married, complicated relationship, broken up, everything is naked. So rather than trying to fight it, we have to embrace it today. We got to figure out a way to embrace it today. And if you're not only embarrassed of who you are in a naked world, it's a very, very difficult life you're going to live. It's going to be a very difficult life for the rest of your life because the world's naked and you're trying to cover yourself up and everybody can see you. So we're almost forced to become a little bit more open, vulnerable, and say, this is who we are. One time I was on a flight coming back, oh my gosh, I'm not engaged yet. And they're wondering, when is Pat gonna propose to his girl? I said, I'm just not right. I keep fighting it off. I keep pushing my girlfriend away at that time. Like, no, you can't handle being a guy like me. You just can't, there's no way in the world you could be with a guy like me. And then on one flight, I write down all these, why are you pushing her away? This could actually be a good wife. This could actually be a good mother. Why are you putting, I wrote all these things down. I came back and I hid it in my briefcase. And one day, when I'm cleaning up my briefcase, I forgot the envelope and I left it there. And my wife read it. So I come home and she's crying. I said, why are you crying? She said, baby, I'm so sorry. I want you to know, I don't want to pressure you. Don't worry about it. Whenever you're ready. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on here? And I see the yellow notepad paper, 3 of them folded. And I'm like, please tell me you don't read that. She says, no, I read it. And I'm sorry I did this, but I just was sitting there and I understand you so much better now. And I love you, baby. I don't care what happens. I'm like, oh my gosh. So the reaction I thought was going to come was a complete opposite reaction. It got us deeper. Right. It helped the relationship get deeper.
Which showed you need to be more open about who you are.
You do. Because listen, I don't know if my marriage is going to work out or not. Everybody asks me, so how's your marriage going? So listen, we take it 1 year at a time. Marriage is not an easy thing. It's very difficult. It's very complicated because you got a hard time getting along with yourself, let alone I got to get along with another person here. Are you kidding me?
Throw some kids in there.
And throw 3 kids in there? I mean, that's like a nuclear bomb possibly about to happen, right? So, but best friendships, best relationships, you got to get deeper. And the deeper you get and more comfortable you are with you, your upside gets bigger and you actually get a chance to enjoy the ride rather than trying to act like somebody else the rest of your life. This is who Patrick Bet David is. I am very comfortable with who I am.